Uno, dos, tres, cuatro tacos. Don't forget the rice and beans on the plato. I like to eat, homie, yo no estoy flaco. Yeah, I'm chubby, pero I'm still guapo. Uno, dos.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Quarantine Day 41. Of course, when you watch this, it'll be Quarantine Day 42. I hope that you all are doing okay, that you're not going completely nuts and crazy like I am. Look at my hair. It's freaking crazy. I literally have not slept in 2 days. See, it says it right there. I haven't slept in 2 days. So, you probably can see it from my face, my dark circles and everything. I haven't slept in 2 days. And yes, I've tried everything, so please don't leave anything commenting wise. You're not anyway. You're not leaving any comments. Please leave comments. These take me a while to produce, to edit. I'm pretty highbrow, okay? I'm directorial debut. I don't see any of your other teachers doing this, okay? Leaving these witty comments, okay? My psychoanalysis of your characters and stuff. The one I have today is pretty good. You should stay tuned. These videos are like 10 minutes. What are you even doing? You're not doing anything, okay? You're sleeping all day, okay? What do you wake up for like an hour? Maybe you go to the kitchen. I know one of you has like a homemade popcorn machine. What do you like? You get in your popcorn, you go back to bed, you watch some TikTok, and that's it. And you like Netflix binging, watching maybe some Tiger King, maybe some Love is Blind, maybe some of the, I want to watch that one, Too Hot to Handle. I haven't started, but I want to watch it. But anyway, you should watch my videos because they're awesome. Anywho, lesson plan, April 24th to May 1st. That means tomorrow you can start on your work for this coming week, and it's all due May 1st. Some of it might have a little bit of an extension, like May 3rd, which is a Sunday, but most of it's due May 1st. First up, careers with children. You will watch this video. Good job if you did, which you should have been doing this entire time. Developmental psychology of children, which I just said the whole thing, which I shouldn't have because I've been not sleeping. You will have to reference this video actually, so you should watch the whole thing. And if you didn't, now you find yourself rewatching it, so good job. Anyway, careers with children, discussion topic, same as psych. Do you think this quarantine will have long-term effects on children? That means far in advance, not long-term next month, long-term years later, okay? Long-term effects on children being born during this time. Okay, so women that are pregnant right now, okay, those babies in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, are they going to feel the effects of the time that their mom was pregnant right now? Okay, that's epigenetics. We talked about that in class. Okay, so think about that. Okay, being born during this time, young children or students graduating. So not just pregnant women now, but young children or students graduating like some of yourselves. Is this going to have long-term effects on you? Okay, are you going to be thinking about this 20 years down the line? Like, did this have a profound impact on your life? My cat is literally licking himself in front of me right now. Stop, okay, it's gross. For example, increased anxiety, stress, depression, etc. Why or why not? Why am I not sleeping? Is it anxiety? Is it depression? I'm an adult. I don't know. Maybe it is. Okay. Now you're scratching yourself. Please stop. Okay. What is different for careers of children? YouTube. Watch the videos. Toddlers and Tiaras. Very good. Very interesting show. If you can't watch Toddlers and Tiaras, I don't know what to tell you about getting your work done. Okay. And another video called Tantrum in the Parking Lot. Okay. This is like a homemade video. You're going to find this in your YouTube playlist for careers with children. Neither video is longer than 10 minutes. I think the Tantrum in the Parking Lot is super short. This is a multi-part assignment. That means there's many parts. Please pay attention to the parts, okay? Thank you, Ernie. He's my backup guy. Okay, he has my back. Yes, exactly. Part 1, you will upload your answer to Google Classroom, okay? Because there's like a little question on there. What is your opinion on getting children involved in pageants? Most notably the case of JonBenet Ramsey. If you've never heard of that, you should definitely look it up. Very interesting case. Who did it? We don't know. Idea for my psychoanalysis. I'm going to do that. Table that. What kind of psychological effects, if any, do you believe that pageants may have on a young child? Now, I'm not judging parents who do that, or maybe I am a little bit. But what are your opinions? You might actually agree with pageants. Maybe you did pageants. I don't know. 2, also in your answer, you will upload to Google Classroom. One of the many reasons we do observations is so we can start to identify patterns of atypical, which is not typical behavior, or different, okay, behavior. In the tantrum in the parking lot video, the child ended up being diagnosed with ODD, Asperger's, ADHD, intermittent explosive disorder, and bipolar. Okay, so, and that's a quote from them. Okay, so that's not me. His tantrums are obviously different than in the Toddlers and Tiaras videos, and I want you to write down a couple of differences. So you're going to sort of pay attention to the tantrums in Toddlers and Tiaras and pay attention to the tantrums in the other video, and then kind of like note differences, okay, between the two tantrums. Were some tantrums like really bad in one video and not in the other? Why were they bad? I don't want you to say, oh my God, those were so bad and this one wasn't that bad. I want you to say why, okay? The third part, also please use these videos to complete at least 1 or 2 of your buddy observations that you are assigned for your career portfolio. If you are done with your buddy observations, remember there were 8, okay? Then do not worry about doing this third part, okay? Remember your buddy observations are just subjective observations that are no longer than a half sheet of lined paper, which is the second hole in a lined piece of paper. Keep that in your career portfolio. So the third part you don't need to submit to me just yet. It's going in your career portfolio. The next part of your assignment is not the same as psych. It's part of your career portfolio. It is journal number 5. So when we left school, we were on journal number 4. This is going to be journal number 5. You're going to write about your week doing online learning. Okay, so what have been your challenges? What have been some successes? What do you like about online learning? What do you not like about it? Were you able to reach out to your buddy, which I hope some of you did because a lot of them really have been talking about you, like I said. If so, what activities were you able to do? If you weren't able to do activities, were they just excited to talk to you? Write as much as you did before, which was at least a half a page down to the second hole in the line piece of paper, and turn it into Google Classroom or email it to me. And that is due May 3rd, so that's the Sunday. So not May 1st, but May 3rd. Same as psych is the BuzzFeed quizzes. Those are 2 quizzes. One's about dominant traits and one is about whether or not you're more fight or flight, which is kind of interesting given, you know, your valley and stuff. And then there's 4 extra credit assignments, which no one's done yet. And you know what? I'm really bored. So I would really like to see some TikTok creativity. Hello, you're always making them at school. So I don't understand why I can't see some TikToks here. That's the same 3 extra credits or the same as last week. Now there's a 4th one. The 4th one is to find a house in your neighborhood where there is at least 1 child or children under 5. You don't have to have a confirmation of that. Like you don't need to knock on the door and be like, hey, is your kid 5 years old? Because then it's gonna make you look like a super creeper. It just needs to look like they're 5, okay? Get some sidewalk chalk if you have available sidewalk chalk. If you don't like risk your health to go get some. Or try and create a kid-friendly activity on the sidewalk in front of their house for them to do when they come outside. Like you can create a hopscotch pattern, you can create a scavenger hunt in their yard, like you could do it writing on a piece of paper, like go find the treasure or something. Make sure not to get the police called on you or anything like for trespassing. Make little circles with alphabet letters they can jump to. Draw a little road for them to follow on their bikes. Draw a rocket ship. Write out some sight words, which you can look up online, sight words. Be inventive. Take a picture with you in it. You have to be in the picture and email it to me or upload it to Google Classroom. You can look for ideas online like quarantine activities for little kids. Okay, very easy there. And I think that's the same extra credit assignments for psych as well. Okay, so pretty basic. Some of y'all need to be doing extra credit. Just saying. Yeah, exactly, Ernie. Thank you. I should have you in my classroom. All right, psych. You watch YouTube weekly intro video and you should watch it twice, some of you, because some of you probably watch like the first like 2 minutes and you're like, oh yeah, I already know that because she posted it on Google Classroom, okay? But some of you are going to have to watch it again because there's a part in here at the end where I do my psychoanalysis. You're going to have to come back and watch. Same discussion topic. Your YouTube videos, you're going to watch 3 Dr. Phil videos, okay? You're going to find those in your YouTube playlist for psych. The videos are approximately 3 to 5 minutes each, okay? So no longer than 15 minutes, okay? You me to leave a comment describing your reaction to the videos in the discussion section of my YouTube channel. Now, if any of you had actually bothered to come to the Zoom meeting that I set up for you, which none of you did, thank you very much for wasting my time. You would have seen me share with you how to get to that. So the only way you can do it is on a computer, not on your phone. I don't think you can do it on an iPad. Maybe you can, but definitely not through the app. You have to go to the actual website to find the discussion section of the YouTube channel, and none of you are doing that. In addition, please write one paragraph summarizing your predictions of each of the kids' future behavior based on their behavior in the videos and their parents' reactions and behaviors. Do you believe their parents are doing enough to discipline or parent them? Do you believe their parents are permissive, democratic or authoritative, which is the same thing, or authoritarian? So authoritative and authoritarian are different. Okay, so rather than maybe use authoritative, just say democratic. So permissive is like Regina George's mom in Mean Girls. Okay, like, hey, come, have relations under my roof, because as long as you're doing it under my roof, it's okay, right? That's permissive. Democratic's like a little bit of, no rules mixed with really strict rules. Like they're kind of in the middle. And then authoritarian's like, you better be home at 8 o'clock, even though you're 18 years old. Okay, like super strict. Okay. So do you believe the parents are permissive, democratic, or authoritarian in their parenting styles? You need to email me your answer or upload it to Google Classroom. There will be a question up there for it. The other part is to watch the Rick and Morty video that I posted on YouTube as well in your playlist. It's Rick's speech to Beth. I am doing a psychoanalysis on Rick and Beth at the end part of this video. Okay, you need to go back and rewatch this video if you didn't. Think about what I speak about in this video about the relationship. Write a paragraph answering the following question. That's, given Rick's background with Beth, Rick basically was an absentee father, and he only came around when she was an adult. He was trying to make up for lost time, basically. And Beth basically became just like him after she tried so hard and for so long to not be like him. Okay. Was Beth always going to be like Rick despite her best efforts not to be? So the question is, are we always going to be like our parents no matter how hard we try? Okay, think about how many times you've gotten into trouble by your parents and guardians and you said, I'll never treat my kids this way, or I'll never parent my kids that way, or things of that nature. Okay, because I know that's run through your mind many times. Like, I'm never going to be like that with my kids. And everybody has said that. Okay. Can anyone ever truly be completely different from their parents? All right. Is Rick right in what he says in this video? Is he wrong? You will take the same BuzzFeed quizzes as Careers with Children. You have the same extra credit assignments. All of your assignments are due May 1st. And that is that. Next up, you'll have your psychoanalysis. And that's it. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you.
Welcome to Dr. Marple's weekly child development and psychoanalysis of your favorite TV show and movie characters. And this week, we are doing Rick and Morty, except that I'm choosing to do Rick and Beth. Rick and Beth are two characters on Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is a TV show. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's very good. And mostly because there are some very nuanced relationships in Rick and Morty, and there is a lot of crass humor in Rick and Morty, and it's probably not super appropriate for people under the age of 17 years old. So if you're going to watch it, you should definitely watch it with an adult. Not with an adult, but an adult's permission. So, Rick. Rick is a very interesting character. He's probably the top reason why I watch the show. Rick is an extremely complicated character, so I thought this was a really long list I typed out. So, Rick is an extremely complicated character, and I think his relationship with his family, mostly between him and Morty and him and Beth, are the most interesting thing about the show. So, Rick is the grandfather of the show, Beth is his daughter, who is an adult, and Morty is his grandson, that's son. Rick is a raging alcoholic who basically drinks to escape the fact that he failed his wife and daughter as a husband and father as they were growing up. He is part sociopath, narcissistic, and genius. And 3, he has a difficult time relating to his current surroundings and environment of his family. So he basically moved in with them, as an older man. And now, they're functioning, kind of dysfunctional family. And as the Morty and his sister Summer are teenagers. And Morty is like sort of a preteen, like 12, 13 years old. Okay. He shares his adventures with Morty because he's selfish and needs Morty to help him get things and get out of situations, etc. But he also likes the attention because he's a narcissist. So he likes Morty hanging around because he likes the attention on him. Okay, Morty kind of sort of looks up to him at first. The relationship starts to change after a while. Rick is also making up for the mistakes he made with Beth as a child, and Summer is too old for him to do this. Even when Rick's screwing up with Morty, he still sees it as a redemption for the lost times with Beth. And Beth, even though she knows all the messed up adventures Rick takes Morty on, it's still better than the absentee father she had from Rick. Rick is also a better friend to his friends than he is a family member to his family. There's a lot of people like this, and if there's somebody like this in your life, this might ring true for you. Rick does not know how to do family, and there's some people like that. He can craft genius projects and time travel and things like that, but he doesn't know how to relate to his family or love people very well. Okay, he hasn't gotten down the most base thing of humanness, which is like relationships and love. Okay, and maybe and I don't mean love like, oh, I love my boyfriend and I just want to talk for like 3 hours at a time and make out. I mean love like love your parents, love your guardians, love your family and your friends. Okay, and maybe that's also what infuriates him and makes him drink too much, because even though he's super smart and he can't even do something simple like figure out how to love someone properly without hurting them or disappointing them. Okay. And moving on to Beth, she's also a really interesting character because you talk about someone who's never lived up to their true potential, okay? We constantly hear about how she could have been a real surgeon, but instead she's a horse surgeon. She married a very meek, ineffective, unimposing, boring, and totally predictable guy. The first guy that got her pregnant in high school through kind of like an oops baby situation, like, oh, teen pregnancy. His name is Jerry, okay? So Jerry's like the opposite of Rick, okay? And at the time she married him, Beth subconsciously wanted someone like Jerry because Jerry's safe. Okay, Rick was, this crazy genius, like alcoholic, unpredictable, in and out of her daughter, in and out of his daughter's life, and Beth craved stability. Beth wanted predictability. Beth wanted something boring because someone that's unpredictable like her father was scary and not around, and she needed somebody that was not that. Okay, and so she went like the totally opposite way, which was Jerry, which also wasn't good for her. So Jerry couldn't possibly hurt her like Rick, her dad. So, we go back to these primary relationships. So we've talked about primary relationships in developmental psych. We've talked about primary relationships a little bit in Careers with Children and how important they are. But now older, Beth resents Jerry. She sees him as the reason she was stunted. She blames him for all of her life's failures. And now maybe he is and maybe he isn't. Okay, so, as an adult, you make certain decisions in your life. Okay, after you turn 18, there's only a certain time frame that you're given to blame all your problems on your parents and your guardians and your upbringing and all of this stuff. Us teachers, we take in and say, okay, you had this issue and okay, I understand now. Once you turn 18 and you graduate and you go on with your life, there's only a certain amount of time where you can kind of use that excuse of your upbringing, where you start making personal decisions about your life and you take the responsibility for your life. You take your upbringing and you either use it as a crutch or you use it to empower yourself. And Beth uses it as a crutch, and she doesn't empower herself. Now, for you psych students out there, coming back to rewatch this video, which I told you would, if you go watch that video I asked you to watch for your assignment, you'll see this conversation between Rick and Beth. And the conversation is interesting because Rick is giving Beth basically a way out, a way to rectify all these bad decisions that she's made, where she's used her relationship with Rick in her childhood as a crutch. Okay? So maybe she has some responsibility to play in her life's failure, since she eventually did end up becoming a decision-making adult. She is responsible for her actions and decisions, like I've been saying. Now, no one made her have Summer. Summer was the baby that she had with Jerry when she was a teen. Beth wants to blame everyone for her misguided present time. The career that didn't live up to her expectations, the marriage that didn't pan out, her alcoholism, her bad relationship with her father, and everything else. But Beth fails to take ownership of her crappy father-daughter relationship, get some counseling, and make better decisions for herself until later in the seasons when she leaves Jerry, which is a spoiler alert, I'm very sorry. And of course, then there are her kids, but we can go into that much, much later. Because of course, Summer and Morty sense the relationship between their parents. They know it's messed up. They know the relationship between Rick and their mom is messed up. So they have the sense of the turmoil between their parents. And that's why I say that Rick and Morty is just a very interesting show. It's not just about crass humor, even though there is a lot of crass humor. It's the family dynamic that makes it just such a really cool show. And so it isn't until the later seasons when Beth actually tries to take the family to counseling, which is also a really good watch as well. So anyway, that being said, I circle back and say it is extremely important to have very good, solid foundations with your children and have those solid primary caregiver relationships, whether you are a biological parent, a foster parent, any kind of parent. You don't have to be blood to make it important. It's just a good, solid primary relationship to have. That is the basis for which all your future relationships will be built, and that is so apparent when you watch shows like this, because you can see what effects it has on everybody. I mean, it didn't just affect Beth, it affects her kids, it affects her marriage, it affects everything that she does and the decisions that she makes and everybody around her and the decisions they make as well. So anyway, with that, I will wish you adieu and, au revoir in whatever language that you are studying. And I hope that you all are safe and well. And that's it. Do your work and don't sit around and sleep all day. And email me if you have any issues. Thanks. Bye.